Alright, how's it going out there, folks? Rooster here in Tennessee, looking at another little vintage tube amp. Courier BL-100, pretty simple amp, pretty straightforward. On and off switch on the front, power indicator light down there, and then a RF meter here. Now this has been replaced. That is not the factory meter that's in it. Was replaced before I got it. It does work, I mean, it moves, but other than that, it's not going to provide any kind of accuracy or anything like that. A little amp does run on 110 volts, so it does plug in the wall. Two holes back here in the back is where your tuners are at, so you will need a small flathead screwdriver to tune it. After you tune it, it's pretty much set it and forget it. I've got it tuned right now for a forward modulation or PEP, peak output, and you know, you'd obviously have to tune it to your radio or whatever, your antenna and all that. But once you get it set, you should basically be good to go. So that'll keep people that like to finick with knobs. You won't be having to worry about that because it's a little bit of an inconvenience to tune it. But tunes up pretty easy. I mean, it wasn't any trouble. We're going to drive it in the video here with about 25 watts PEP. Now, that's probably more than recommended, but you know, that's about all I can cut my radio down to is about 25 PEP because we've got the voltage turned down on our big power supply going into it. Tubes that are in it, it does have three. I believe that is a 12 AU7, and those are 12 JB6s, I believe. Two of those over to the right. I'm not 100% sure on that. I haven't had the covers off of it, but just looking at the amp from the outside and peeking down through the inside, it's really, really clean. Appears to be in very, very good shape. It will be up for sale, roostercb.com, under used and special items. I'll snag some pictures of it after the video and get it listed up there. Backstory on it, I got it from a guy that got it from a guy. They told me that it was swinging backwards over the air. I've tested it here, just listening to it through another radio on the dummy load, and it doesn't appear to be doing that here. I will say it was way out of tune when I got it. When I got this amp, it was way out of tune. I mean, it was barely doing any kind of power. It was doing like 20 watts. So it's actually doing less power than what you put into it. So that would kind of explain the backswing deal. I don't know if they just didn't know that you could tune it and just thought, you know, it did what it did and that was it. But once I tuned it up and got the power out of it, it seems to be doing good. Now we'll just turn on the radio in the background. Just the best demo I can give you guys so you can kind of hear it.
Hello, audio, 1, 2, audio.
Have to disregard the squeal there.
Hello, audio, audio 1. Audio 1, 2, audio check, and you can see audio.
You can see on the meter that it is swinging forward. The sound of it appears to be clear. It doesn't sound like it's distorting or anything, so I think it's okay. But I just like to put that out there. You know, keep in mind that was the story I got when I bought it or when I got it in on trade. But it appears to be working fine here. On the watt meter, it works fine. Seems to be doing good over the air. You guys saw it on the meter. It was actually pulling forward. You know, that's dummy load to dummy load, but even antenna to antenna, it's going to be the same thing. You could expect the same thing out of it. So what I'm going to do now is go over here to the bird meter. Again, we're going to swing about 7 watts average and about 25 PEP into it. Ideally, we'd be doing about 15 to 20 watts PEP going into it, but you know, we got what we got to test with. So average power first. So we're looking at the 500 watt slug, middle scale. What was that, about 50 watts? No, not 50. Hold on here, about 30. About 25, 30 watts average. And it's going to show a lot more PEP. So that's something you see with some of these old tube top modulators. They tend to do a heck of a lot more PEP, some of them, than what they do average power. Some people correlate that being a dirtier amp. Just like a Mako 75. You know, I've seen some of those Mako 75s that would show 275 watts, 300 watts PEP, and they'd only be doing like 60 watts, 75 watts average. So this thing's kind of the same. PEP, back on track. Check, audio, check, audio, check, audio, check, audio. It's showing about 150 or so here, and then it's talking, you know, getting a little bit of a bounce around in it. They're talking around 135, 140, and peaks up every now and again over 150, depending on the voice peak into it. But talking pretty normal here, and seems to be doing good. It's not falling back or anything. It's held the tune. I'm just going to stay on it here. You'll see it peak up every now and again. I'll just stay on it here for a second, make sure it's not going to fall back. Check audio. There you guys go. Again, it appears to be working fine here. Listening to it through the other radio, it seems to be okay. But it is an old tube app, so anything can happen. Just want to test it out just like we do anything else before it leaves here. Nice old vintage piece. You know, obviously, who knows the last time it had capacitors put in it. Who knows the last time it had fresh tubes put in it. As far as the output power, I mean, it's doing every bit what it should. It's doing more than what you can expect out of it. But there could be some things that need replaced in it. That goes for any of these tube amps. You know, you buy an old tube amp, expect that it could need some refurbishing done to it. But I believe this thing could make a sweet little modulator for somebody. There you guys go. Courier BL-100 bass linear amplifier. Oldie but a goodie. It'll be up on the website, guys, roostercb.com, under the specials and used equipment there. Catch you guys on the band. Appreciate everybody. Shoot me a text, 423-299-3535. Rooster in Tennessee. See you, bye.